Hey, what's up guys, Snowy Minotaur here, and yes, I'm going to be talking about the item shops once again with you all. I feel like at this point it's going to become a new series with just me ripping into the Chapter 5 item shops, especially with how many videos I've made talking about the item shops alone during this chapter. Anyways, ever since I talked about the item shop around, I want to say about 2 months ago, I can essentially confirm that they have slightly improved, but that's not really saying anything sadly. Now look, I don't want to rip into Epic for what they've done with the item shops as of late and say that they're awful, they don't want to make money, but however, I will give my criticism against them. As somebody who does buy cosmetics regularly within Fortnite, I can definitely say that ever since the beginning of Chapter 5, the item shops have had a major downgrade. So today, I'm going to be talking about why the item shops in Chapter 5 are awful. So let's begin with my first point on why the item shops are so awful, and that is the overpriced cosmetics. Now I have to flash back to one of my latest videos of me ranting about them removing cosmetic rarity for a bit. And the reason why I'm bringing this up here is because people in the Fortnite community are saying that ever since this change happened, new cosmetics that have been releasing to the item shop have been more expensive. And it's because of this change. And honestly, people, I think this could be true. Yes, I do know that Epic not only doubled down on this change, but they also have said that this change wouldn't affect the pricing of cosmetics, but as of late, I think this was a flat out lie. I'm bringing this up because ever since this pointless change was implemented, I've been noticing throughout the past few weeks, most of the new cosmetics that we've been getting have been very overpriced. Like just recently, we got a new NBA collab, which is pretty cool in my opinion, and with that we got a new emote called Dunk It. And this emote is 500 V-Bucks. Like 500 V-Bucks for an emote that lasts for 6 seconds is absolutely crazy. Now I know we had an emote very similar to this like over 2 years ago, and it was called Dunk on Them, which was 400 V-Bucks, but honestly I'd rather would have had Dunk It have been the same price as Dunk on Them instead of it costing as much as an item shop dance. Like that makes no sense in my opinion. Not only was it this emote, but there was other ones as well. Like we've been getting a lot of these Fortnite festival emotes as of late, and honestly I think they're really good. They're so worth picking up for like only 200 V-Bucks that they remind me of pointing out, but for your instruments, they're great emotes in my opinion. Well, as of late we've gotten like 3 of them, and well, they've been overpriced. Like one of them was called Rounded Round, which is literally a terribly overpriced emote for 500 V-Bucks, and it was just like the last one I just talked about. It only lasts for a few seconds. Now, when I say it doesn't make any sense for it to be 500 V-Bucks, like this literally makes absolutely no sense. Like I generally mean it, because we literally have Fortnite Festival emotes that are 200 that basically do the same thing and are way better. And we literally just had another 500 V-Buck emote release called Rocket Keys, but at the very least with this one it has something going for it, but it shouldn't be 500 in my opinion. And by the way, it's not just emotes. We also have skins like the avatar skins, which were just crazily overpriced at 200 V-Bucks each. And these don't even come with like edit styles, which is just insane to think about considering that it was cheaper to buy the avatar event pass and to unlock Korra than buying one of the 3 item shop skin bundles in the shop. And the most infamous one as of late was the Guardians of the Galaxy pack. Now I gotta be honest with y'all here, I did buy this pack because I'm a massive fan of the Guardians movies, so I really wanted it for that reason. However, I will say this here, I do not agree with the price at all. Like the pack is $28.99 and that's not even including tax. Like I don't know why it's this overpriced, but that's crazy in my opinion. Like we literally have packs that are similar to this one that are much cheaper and more affordable. Are they not wanting to make money or something? Is that just me? And by the time this video goes live, we have the new Star Wars event out, and with that comes like a new Lego pass, which is more expensive than the Avatar one we just had at 1400 V-Bucks, and it only has one cosmetic you can use in any game mode, being the Chewbacca skin. While I will say it is worth the price of 1400 V-Bucks, people would rather buy stuff that benefits all the game modes instead of mostly just one. That's why I think like the festival pass nowadays is a lot better to purchase, because I feel like that's actually grown to be a much better deal in my opinion, even though I can say it's still very expensive at 1800 V-Bucks. I still wish that they consider adding like these event passes and even like the festival passes into Fortnite Crew someday, but anyways, let's move on to my next issue with the item shop, and this has got to be the UI and the purchasing of cosmetics. Now I have to talk about this here because ever since the most recent update, Epic changed the locker UI once again, and it actually had to do with the recent tab. Not only does it show every cosmetic you've unlocked and purchased since the beginning of this season that we're in, Chapter 5 Season 2, but now it's sorted the exact same same way as the locker, meaning that it's more difficult for you to see what you've gotten what you recently purchased or unlocked, because they've removed the sorting system within the recent tabs. Now, I gotta say this here. I've said this once, I'll say it again. Stop making pointless changes, Epic. This is not fixing any issues. This is only making new ones. The reason why I'm bringing up this change here is because when purchasing cosmetics within the item shop, after you would purchase something in it, the entire shop essentially discombobulates. This means that every tab goes all over the place, and it makes it harder for you to navigate throughout the item shop. Now, I am glad to say this, that they finally fixed it after like over half a year, but I don't understand why it took them this long for them to fix this. Like, why keep making more changes to things that were never an issue to begin with? Like, now you are essentially punishing players, or were essentially punishing players for buying stuff in your game because of your poorly made UI. This just shows like how bad the new item shop UI truly is. Like, it just brings it back to what made it work in the first place. Like, it was perfectly fine the way it was, and honestly, it's turning off players. Like, this new locker UI, not only just the locker UI, but also like the item shop UI, is turning off players because of there being no changes within the item shop. Like, they don't know what's even changing, with the shops like changing at all at some points. They don't even change almost at all at some points at some times. It just makes absolutely no sense on why they would remove stuff from the item shop to make it more difficult for you to buy stuff, and even bugged out for the item shop for like over half a year. It generally makes no sense to me. Oh, but speaking of which, we gotta talk about my next problem with the item shops, and that is AI generated item shops. Now, ever since the beginning of this chapter, more or less when people started talking about the item shops for chapter 5, people have been theorizing that the item shops have not been ran by actual humans, but instead by AI. And with the shops as of late, I honestly believe this to be true. Now, shout out to actual Kaizo on Twitter. I'm sorry for getting your name wrong, for the thread and also the images which I'm about to show, because this thread that this person made honestly baffled me. Like, how like Epic managed to mess up the item shop this badly. Some of the things that happened was that, like, they brought back the biker skins and sold the Blaze skin instead of the Blaze glider. They sold multiple skins twice within the same item shop, like Skull Trooper and Wukong. The break-in emote, which was an emote back in 2018, was being marketed as a new emote when it re-released randomly in chapter 5. I wish I was lying. And now they're selling Halloween cosmetics with it not even being October right now, because they just recently brought back Ghoul Trooper twice into the item shop, and they recently brought back the trick-or-treater skins. Now, again, shout out to actual Kaizo for the images shown, because like there's a lot more I wanted to mention here, because like it's actually insane that this theory about the item shops being ran by AI might actually be true, as an actual human being would actually look at these issues and say no to them and remove them instantly from the item shop. Oh, and by the way, this is only the beginning, as the shops have been so messy with returning cosmetics, as sets don't even fully return, and or they're just putting random like cosmetics like in different areas, and just very random and odd areas in general, and like tabs that shouldn't even have the cosmetics in there to begin with. Like, just overall, the item shops in chapter 5 are a complete mess. Everything about the item shops ever since the beginning of this chapter has been an absolute disaster. I really hope Epic actually goes and fixes the item shops, because it seems like they're getting slightly better. They are bringing back stuff that hasn't been seen in a long time, but in my opinion, this doesn't fix the item shop. Just because you're bringing back stuff like Widow's Bite to the item shop, or like skins like Tracker, which hasn't been seen like in 1600 days, this doesn't fix the issue with the item shop. It's like, it's cool that they're bringing back rare stuff. That's awesome to see, but it's not fixing the issues. Like, the UI is terrible, the rotation is terrible, but you know, that's just the whole thing with the item shop. Like, the item shops are just so bad. I really hope at some point they fix them. But ladies and gentlemen, that is it for today's video. I really hope you all enjoyed it. If you did happen to enjoy this video, consider subscribing to the channel. Don't forget to check out my Twitter, aka my X account. Socials are on screen. Thank you all so much for watching. I love every single one of you. Remember, everyone, it's always good to take chances.